The US government is ready to spend billions on self-driving cars. GoPro is in deep doo-doo. How to make a Skype call from inside a Slack channel, and more. It's Thursday, January 14th, and this is Crunch Report. Hello, everyone. And hello from the New York office, where I am this week, because I never go home anymore. Self-driving car technology is exciting, right? But autonomous driving programs aren't going to get very far without regulatory approvals in place. And so far, we don't really have many of those. So the US government is taking the next step by introducing a national policy for autonomous cars, promising to invest $4 billion over the next 10 years to help development of safe vehicle automation through a series of pilot projects. Now, this is part of President Obama's 2017 budget proposal, which obviously he won't be personally overseeing since we'll have a new president by then. So this could still get shot down, but I hope it doesn't, because if the government understands the industry and auto manufacturers, then there's a better chance we'll all be following laws that make sense. The Department of Transportation, or DOT, today said that it wants to develop a model state policy on automated driving within the next 6 months. And in the long run, this policy could lead to a consistent national policy for all of us in the U.S. The DOT and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are also looking at rules for cars that were designed without a human driver in mind. Now, that's a big potential step forward, since states that have policies around self-driving vehicles now still always require a human driver behind the steering wheel who can take over. It is not a good week to be GoPro. The company's stock dropped over 23% yesterday after the company announced its fourth quarter earnings were worse than expected. The stock was already trading at an all-time low, so the drop was an extra blow. GoPro still has a market cap of about $2 billion, but with pressure from investors to sell more cameras and find new revenue streams, the company seems to be running low on ideas and announced it's laying off 7% of its 1,500 people. That's about 105 positions. This is really quite an about face, as GoPro had been growing at about 50% rate over the last 2 years. GoPro went public in 2014 at $35 per share and then shot up to $89 pretty quick. But since that high, the stock has been gradually dropping. And then in the summer of last year, it lost over half of its value over several weeks. GoPro's latest camera, the Hero 4 Session, failed to outsell previous models. Now, on a related note, I need to say this, GoPro's CEO and founder Nick Woodman was the 5th highest paid CEO among U.S. public companies in 2015, with a total compensation package of $77 million, which is an increase over the previous year of 4,079%. It has been a big week for Skype. Skype announced group calling on mobile, integration with Outlook Mobile, and today, a beta Slack integration. So that means that now you can either start a voice or a video Skype call from within Slack itself. Slack users have to click on the Add to Slack button from Skype's website, and then they confirm which team they want to integrate with. It's pretty easy, though. This is one of just many integrations that Slack now supports. Last month, you might recall the company rolled out a new app directory that organizes and highlights its growing list of applications, which is now up to about 150. Skype calling will work for Slack users via the web, Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android apps. Slack now has 2 million daily active users, and as of the end of 2015, 570,000 paid seats. Along with the directory, it also launched an $80 million fund to support Slack app developers and is valued around $2.8 billion. Uber is doubling down on India, the country that it sees as its eventual second largest market after China in the coming years. Now, on that front, Uber has plans to establish its first dedicated engineering team in the Indian city of Bangalore. This will go a step beyond the Uber team members based in San Francisco, that's where it's headquartered, that are already dedicated to Indian consumers. For example, they rolled out a new feature that was an SOS button that you could press mid-journey if you need help or feel unsafe. But a local team in India will be able to deploy more features more quickly. Uber says the new team will be up and running in the first quarter of 2016, so that's sometime before the end of March. The company declined to be specific on headcount numbers, but a source tells TechCrunch the Indian growth product engineering team will be between 20 and 25 people, at least to start. Uber's currently in 26 Indian cities, completing about 250,000 rides a day. Sounds like a lot, but it has some catching up to do. Indian rival Ola already operates in 102 cities and does almost 1 million rides per day, according to an Ola company source. Do you want to find love? Of course you do. Check your heart rate, though. Today, a European dating app called Once, which has grabbed about 600,000 users in 4 months across the UK, France, and Spain, announced an integration with Fitbit and Android Wear. So it works like this. Each day, Once will offer you a single potential match, just one person, which is chosen by another actual person. It's one of 120 matchmakers behind the scenes who look at your profile and see who you've liked in the past and choose somebody for you. So with this Fitbit integration, as a user, you can now sync the fitness tracker to Once's app and then see your heart rate in real time when you first see your day's match. If you like somebody, maybe it'll go really fast. Once says in the next version of the app, users will also be able to send their heart rate to a match once it's recorded. Hopefully they like it. If you don't have a Fitbit or you don't have an Android Wear fitness tracker, you can still use Once. You just have to monitor your heart flutters on your own. And that is the report for today from our New York studio. I'm Sarah Lane, and this episode of Crunch Report was presented by Go90. Crunch Report airs every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on TechCrunch.com. You can also find us on iTunes and on YouTube. I'll be here again tomorrow. See you then.